you ain't gonna be rich. You'll be well off, but you will not be rich. The dropout rate is about 15 to 18% for all medical schools. Hey, what is up, you guys? Today's video is gonna be on, is medical school worth it in 2021? The reason why I want to make this video is because there are probably a bunch of you guys in pre-med or even high school trying to pursue medical school, and there are things that people don't talk about. They never say anything about it. So I want to give you guys some deep secret information that other people will never mention to you, simply because honestly, you just forget to tell people about it. And if I had known before entering medical school, then I feel like I would have been a lot more better prepared mentally and been able to accept these things as just the challenges of medical school. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, I am currently a 4th year medical student. So I've seen it all, gone through the whole shebang. You know, I feel like I have at least some type of experience to at least be able to talk about these things. So is medical school worth it? 2021. All right, well, the first thing that we have to talk about is debt. The biggest thing to know about being a doctor is that you ain't gonna be rich. You'll be well off, but you will not be rich. Everybody says, oh, doctors are so, rich. They have nice cars, they have a nice house, they have a nice life. Well, guess what? Do you know how many years it takes to get there? You won't be a doctor after you graduate from medical school. These are things that most of you guys might know. For me, I don't know. I was kind of a dumb kid in undergrad, so I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just did it. That's kind of my style. That's how I flow. But for me, I thought you just go into medical school and then that's it. You become a doctor. No, that's not it. What happens is 4 years of medical school, you graduate, and then at minimum, it's 3 to 5 years of residency training. So in total, that can be anywhere up to 7 to 10 more years of school. During that time, you'll have far less money than all of your peers, guaranteed. I'm currently 28, and out of all my friends, I have the least amount of money, and that isn't gonna change for another 3 to 5 years. So, debt, you guys. I'm just gonna let you know, it'll be there, it'll suck. Out of all the friends that I interviewed, they have about $300,000 worth of debt. Now, granted, everybody's story is different. Like myself, I don't have any medical school debt because I went through the military. But, there are other consequences of me doing that. And let me tell you, it's 2021 now. If you want to be rich, there are far better ways of making money. Don't go into medical school. Don't be a doctor thinking that you're going to be rich, because honestly, you're not. Chances are you won't be, at least not until you're like 50. And by then, you could have done anything else and still had more money. Okay, next up is the grind. So, are you ready to wake up every single day and study your butt off? Because if the answer to that is already a no, boy, you're in it for a rough time in med school. I thought I liked learning and studying, especially about science and the human body, but you take it up to the next level in med school. You have to enjoy learning about human anatomy, human physiology, and in 3rd and 4th year, you have to learn how to be a doctor, what to do when somebody comes in with X, Y, and Z, and what the next best step for that patient is. And trust me, what you think in your head is the next best step, usually is wrong. And there's already a standard protocol that you'll have to memorize. And I'm not talking just about the grind of studying. Your entire life has to be a grind. Are you ready to wake up and work out every single day too? Because honestly, your health is wealth. And if you're not able to make these commitments to make your life and health improve while in medical school, your body's simply just gonna deteriorate. With that being said, it's now 7:30 in the morning and I'm going to be doing my morning workout right now. I just wanted to add one thing. No matter what job you do, the grind will always be there. Whether you're even the lowest paying job, like working minimum wage at a restaurant, you're still going to grind. You know what I do every day? I wake up and I tell myself, let's get this bread! All thanks to my med school friend Sarthak. So Sarthak, if you're watching this, let's get this bread, man. I just thought of something really cool. Let me know what you guys think. The bigger the gains, the greater the brains. Boom! Okay, now time for some cold, hard truth. The reality is that medical school, once you get in, it's not easy. And actually, throughout all medical schools, about 15 to 18% of students will drop out in the first 4 years. So let me rephrase that. The dropout rate is about 15 to 18% for all medical schools. And people drop out for different reasons, whether it be they have family issues, financial issues, or simply they just realize that medical school isn't right for them. But 15 to 18% is a pretty significant amount. In my school personally, by the way, I'm wearing the white kilt just to represent my school. We had about 440 people come in on day one. 440 eager medical students first year, knowing that they want to be a doctor. They went through the whole interview process, the whole application cycle, and now they're finally in. Currently, we're sitting at about 391 students. So that means 50 people dropped out for various reasons. And this is something that people just don't talk about because really nobody wants to mention that they went to medical school and then they dropped out. To make things even worse, let's say you get through all 4 years of medical school, right? You've made it through first year, second year, passed all the exams and the board exams. Then you can move on to your third year and you take your step 2, and then you move on to your fourth year and you're ready to move on to the next step, which is residency. Well, the cold hard truth is that even once you're done with medical school, you might still not be a doctor. That's right. There's a huge problem of a lot more medical schools opening up than residency positions or spots available. But last year, in 2020, 40,084 students from MD schools, DO schools, and IMGs, which means international medical students, applied for only 34,266 positions. And I keep looking over there because that's why I wrote down the number. To break it down, about 2,525 MD students fell into that category. For DOs, that number is 3,727 students. And for IMGs, that's about 2,013 students. And so about 93% of students from MD schools made it to a residency. For DOs, that's about 9.7 students of DOs wasn't able to be a doctor. And for IMGs, a whopping 39% of students who went through the 4 years of medical school was unable to get into a residency. And so the reason why I mentioned this to you isn't to scare you guys, but to show you guys that this is in fact the reality. And if you're worried about being the bottom like 5% of your class, then you may not have a chance to get into a residency. Now, disclaimer, you might be wondering, why is Mike mentioning all this? Why is he wearing a white coat in the house? Well, I don't know. I do want to give the disclaimer that I am actually in that bottom 10%. But for people who were unable to match into a residency like myself, then they pretty much get randomly selected by all the other programs who still have slots left open, and they basically cold call the students and ask, hey, would you like to be a part of our program? We still have an unfilled position open. And then you do a short interview and you get in. Now also, there are some other considerations, right? We are in 2021 and our options are endless for what you want to do with your career. For example, if you want the role of a doctor as well as autonomy, but with less schooling, then you can always be a physician's assistant. They don't require these 7 to 10 years of medical school, and you can essentially still practice as a doctor. Likewise, one of the things that I've noticed is that shadowing doctors, they actually don't get to spend a lot of time with patients. They will actually spend most of their time writing up notes and trying to figure out the diagnosis. So if you want to still be in the medical field and really want to be with the patient and help them from their smaller daily needs, then nursing is probably a better occupation within the medical field. So I've mentioned all that. And I just want to conclude, these are a lot of negative things that, might dissuade you from medical school. However, I mean, you're probably watching this video because you're curious on what it's like. And my intention, let me say it again, was to give you a better understanding of what things you have to go through so that you can better prepare yourself and have realistic expectations. For me, there was a lot of frustration that nobody really talked about these things, and I just want to put it out there. So if you found some of these things helpful, and I just want to say that in conclusion, despite all the experiences that I went through, there is no other career that I would have chosen other than being a physician. For one, I love the human body. I love studying it. I love working out and interacting with it on an everyday basis. So I'm surrounded by like-minded individuals who also have a deep passion for understanding the human body and helping people. And although I am bottom tier, I have no regrets, and I know that in the end, I'll still be living a very fulfilling life within the career that I chose to get into. But if I could say one thing, be smart about the medical school you decide to go into, because it can drastically change your overall experience. And I just want to conclude this video with a thank you to all my friends who helped me get through this far. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You know who you are. So with that, I want to say thanks. And hopefully I'll see you guys later. If this video made any sort of impact, please share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. With